Good morning, ladies and gents, and it's before 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm up and out very early today. You join me in the city of London at one of my favourite London locations, which is nice and quiet at the moment, which is the ruined church garden of St Dunstan-in-the-East. This will be a little London walk on foot tour starting here. So, been a church on this site since ancient times. That one burned in the fire, then rebuilt, then destroyed in the Second World War. The Church of St Dunstan-in-the-East stood on this site from ancient times. Sir Christopher Wren rebuilt the church after the Great Fire of 1666, and the only part of his design which survives is the tower. The remainder of the church was rebuilt in 1817 and destroyed by enemy action in 1941. This garden was created by the Corporation of London and opened by the Right Honourable Lord Mayor Sir Peter Studd, KT, MA, DSC, on the 21st of June 1971. So, in we go. It's a lovely place, this is. Nice to see it quiet as well. I've caught it just early enough, because it's normally busy in here. Oh, it's more or less empty. It's perfect, everything down to the last detail. Looking back out onto St Dunstan's Hill. In we go. It's nice and quiet today in here. So, before the Second World War, we would have been standing inside a church, a fully functioning church. The sundial. And all the writing goes around in a helix. You start reading it from the outside and work your way in a spiral, which if you're trying to film, read and look where you're going is very, very complicated. But yeah, that's the only piece of Wren's survival, which is the tower. You can tell that's a Wren creation if ever there was one. Anything Sir Christopher Wren I really love, so as you know, he's one of my favourite historical Londoners. My most favourite historical Londoner would be Samuel Pepys. Now, I think it's empty out here, or relatively so while it is... No, it's not. No, it's quite busy there, so we'll cover this bit first. Because it does have a mini bit of a churchyard left, which, yeah, there's a couple of gravestones there. Exactly what you expect to see in a churchyard. Over here, I'll point you down because there are people walking around, but over here is the water fountain, and you can sit on these benches and that there, so that's nice. But yeah, it's a lovely place to be in the summer, or even in the winter. The grass all died off in that heat wave, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. It never grew back. And then we go down into this little area. There's another little piece of history here. And this area is completely empty. Oh, how thoroughly convenient. Yeah, you've got little benches and that around. I love this. This is probably my most favourite spot in London to sit and have a coffee or a smoke or whatever. Here's the other piece of history I was telling you about. Zoom into it. This fig tree was given and planted on St Patrick's Day 1937 by Sir Evan Spicer DL to commemorate the crowning of King George VI. So, and that's the fig tree just there. You've got another sundial up on the wall here in memory of Hugh Giles Thompson, citizen and gardener, 1913 to 1972. There's a plaque there, but it's partially covered. Yeah, there's another one over here just by this tree. Whether we'll be able to see the writing or not, I don't know, but we will try. This magnolia tree was planted by the master of the Worshipful Company of Gardeners, John P. Is that Schweed? 1971. It's very worn away and barely able to be seen, so. Right. And you go back through this way. There's a great big arch in that up here where you would have gone in and out of your church in those days. It's nice when, not nice that it was destroyed, but it's nice that it was turned over to a garden and is still kind of what you get on in London, which is a bit of rare peace and quiet and solitude. It's very quiet in here normally. It's getting busy now. We've got this little area here, which is where we just came in, and now I'll take you around to the churchyard. And these are all the awards that it's won over the years. Here's its churchyard around here. Let's point you up a minute because there are some people about. But just over here, by where these people are sitting, there is some gravestones left. Not many, and mostly completely worn away. Just here you've got the old, I don't know whether it was a cross or what, but yes. So, right, we go out this way. Onto Idle Lane we're going now. Oh, damn them. They've put curtains across, have they? Yeah. Sometimes when the lights are on, if you zoom in, you look through there, there's like a mini dome thing inside. It's really lovely, which you can see sometimes. But not today. No. Yeah, curtained it, look. Stink pots. We're on St Dunstan's hill here, which will go down there. Idle Lane. And, I shall pause you for a minute and then you'll join me for the next part of the tour. So off we go, and before we do, I just want to show you some of the lovely architecture on this church. That'll be the doors. Look at the cherub, the carved cherubs on the doors. Very nice. And off we go. Idle Lane. Looking down that way. I will have to pause you a sec because someone is coming. There we go. Off we go. Down one of the old little cobbled alleyways. I can't remember its name, and I think there is a sign up the end here. But we're on or off to our next location, which is just along here. Another church. St Dunstan's Lane, this is what we're walking on now. And here we come out to our next location, the Church of St Mary at Hill, which is another one of my favourite churches. This one's got a little hidden courtyard garden. There's its clock. It's a lovely dome inside as well. Another beautiful Wren creation, and another church there. Yeah, you see St Mary at Hill Church, entrance through the iron gate. So I'll pause you for a sec because someone's coming along, and that's where we'll catch up. And off we go into the church with its little hidden courtyard. Years ago, when the church existed, if like random peeps' time, these modern buildings, of course, would not have existed. So nowadays, the St Anne's Lutheran Church, Holy Communion every Sunday at 11 o'clock, which is basically for the Orthodox faith. A lot of the churches in London are shared now. Let's take my hat off. A lot of the churches in London are shared now. Where you have the Anglican services earlier, and then you'll have Orthodox or Catholic services after, because we've got a lot of people over from Ukraine. I've met quite a few of them. They're lovely people, mostly women, younger women, older women, boys and girls. Notice is hereby given that this burial ground of the parish of the Church of St Mary at Hill has been closed by order of the respected vestries of the united parishes of St Mary at Hill and St Andrew Hubbard, with the consent of the rector, and no further interments are allowed therein. Dated this 21st day of June 1846. It's when the burial acts came in and the churchyards became so full that they became health hazards, some of which even leaked into water supplies, like at Aldgate, the poisonous pump at Aldgate, which is another thing I'll be covering soon. But yeah, this is the church, and in we shall go. Pause to read any descriptions or tombstones, what you may want to read. That's the resurrection panel. No choice but to walk on the dead here, I'm afraid. Very impressive, isn't it? And then you have stained glass on the other side. Just over there, under that cloth, is a harpsichord. I have chosen this church before, so I won't go too mad with it. We was just an on-foot tour from St Dunstan's to St Mary at Hill, and fortunately we came in and got a bit of organ music, which is very nice. Thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and now we're going to venture back off into the past and start off back at our first location and see these places as they were years ago. So here we go. And here we see the old church of St Dunstan-in-the-East as it was. Just after the Great Fire of London, this is exactly what the Wren Church would have looked like. The only remaining bit which is the bell tower nowadays. So this is the earliest image I could find of St Dunstan's-in-the-East. 1920s or 30s, this image, and I like this one because if you look down towards the bottom, you see the gate there. Sorry about that, it's one of my chiming clocks. See the gate there? If you walk through that gate, you see the little square porch area. That's where we walked into, which is completely open to the sky now. But yeah, this is not long before the Second World War, and when this church would absolutely cop it, which leads us on to our next images. And here you're seeing something that will never come back, sadly. This is the interior of the Church of St Dunstan's-in-the-East. It's lucky and rare to get a photo, an early one, of an interior of a church like this. Because of the sacred element of churches, they weren't always photographed that much inside. So this is a good one to have. But look at what was lost. It's quite heartbreaking really when you think of it. I would have minded a wander around this one. And sadly this is what became of it. This is the Second World War or just after. And the congregation, as many did when their churches were destroyed, they refused to give up and they still worshipped there in the open air for a time until their parish was merged with another. And here you see like the real element of destruction. The bell tower was really the only bit that escaped, and even that was damaged. And now on to our second and last location. A little bit of a description here. Lovat Lane, which is the where the Church of St Mary at Hill is on. Don't forget, St Mary at Hill is accessible on two sides, on Lovat Lane and then on the hillside. I can't remember the name of that street, but yeah, this covers Lovat Lane. This old woodcut image is St Mary at Hill as it looked before the fire, the Great Fire of London of 1666. And once again we're lucky and rare to get an image like this, because most of the earliest images of London churches are of the Wren replacements, built to replace all this lot that was swept away in the fire. And here this 18th century image shows us St Mary at Hill. Pretty much this is what we see today, apart from the cart and the poor man walking along in his breeches and stockings, but the church, really what was built to replace the one destroyed in the fire, is pretty much what we see today, apart from some restorations after wartime damage. But this is a nice view because, as you saw when we arrived, not much has changed in that regard, apart from a long time, of course. And that's the end of our little historical tour, on foot tour. Hope you all enjoyed that one, guys and girls. Thanks for watching.